Hello and welcome to the classroom. Today for our story time and craft, we're going to read the book called Ferdinand and we're going to make a potato head. Today's theme is S is for senses, so if you want to watch the whole video about the 5 senses, then I'll put the link below for you to be able to do that. I want to say a special hello to 2 friends that I know are watching. I want to say hi to Julian and Philip. Hello and welcome to our classroom. We're glad that you are joining in. Well, let's get started with that story. Today it's called Ferdinand, and this story is by Monroe Leaf. The Story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid that he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other with their horns and stick each other. But what they most wanted was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care, so he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. Uh-oh, but he didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him, and that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Yow! Did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting and butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest, fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. What a day it was! Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. Do, 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 do. First came the banderilleros with long sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadors who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all and make him the maddest. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the banderilleros were afraid of him, and the picadors were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring and he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair, he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce, no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the picadors were madder, and the matador was so mad that he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and his sword. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So they had to take Ferdinand back home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers quietly. And he is very happy. The end. Well, it is time to head to the art table and we're going to make a potato head. So let's go, everyone. Okay, so we're going to make a potato head, and I'm going to put the link below so you can get the pieces. First, we're going to start with the potato, and then we've got some choices to make because there are a couple of eyes here that you can pick from. So maybe the eyeballs or the glasses. I think I'll pick the eyeballs for mine. And then there are a couple of noses to pick from. There's this regular nose, and here's one with a mustache, and here's one that's just an oval. So, maybe I'll try, I think I'll just do the regular nose that looks like that. But the fun part is you can try different noses. You can try out and see which one you like. There's one with the mustache. That looks pretty funny. Okay, so I think I might go with this one, and then there are two mouths to pick from. So if you use the nose that already has a mouth, there's one mouth, and then this one has teeth. That's funny. Okay, so next we're going to put some ears on our potato head. Okay, and then we'll add some fingers, some arms and hands. Fingers are what we use for touching. These are the five senses. So eyes help us to see, nose helps us to smell, ears help us hear, and our tongue and our mouth helps us to taste. Fingers help us to touch and learn about the world around us. Those are your five senses. So that is our art project today, and Ferdinand in the story loved to use his nose to smell the flowers. Well, here is my potato head. I think he turned out pretty cute, and I hope you get to make an art project today, and I hope you'll join me next time for Storytime and Craft. Goodbye.